Starladder Invitational Analyst Desk as OG show the form that made them the Frankfurt Major champions, taking Game 1 of that best-of-3 series. Before we get into talking about the game, I want to give a quick shout-out to our sponsors. As you just saw, EGB.com, the leading esports betting website. We got to thank the Score Esports, who have a wonderful new app that you should check out. They provide a lot of great original content, as well as coverage of all your favorite esports titles. And, of course, Twitch TV, on which you're probably watching this right now, Cap of Pride. I want to take it over to my other couple of analysts here, my friends Ryu and LD. Let's talk about that game. And, of course, there's something special about this seat today because I get one of these, guys.
Yeah, the hosts seem to be winning a very
smart
suspect
today.
number of trophies. I'm not sure we're going to be experts for much longer, but, man, that was just a sick performance for OG. That was the OG we did not see yesterday. Everyone played extremely well individually. I think they really caught MVP off guard with the laning setup. Not just the IO moving around, putting the CK in the off lane. We were wondering why CK. You know, CK does not match up well against OD as far as the illusions go. They're pretty much useless if it's an even game or if the OD's ahead, which P often is. But they caught them off guard. The Ember Spirit did not farm in the off lane. Crit, every time he rotated, which was frequently, was getting kills for the team. They OD did not snowball. They counterplayed the Earth Spirit very well in the laning stage. Like, the laning stage was magnificent for OG, and I just don't think MVP expected that.
What counters MVP's playstyle was Crit just rotating around with the Wisp, adding that extra sustain and just punishing them for getting out of position, punishing them for diving too much. And even in the later game stage where he was just relocating, saving everybody, it was just the Crit show that time. And then once the cores got the BKBs, as we saw, I mean, that's just their timing. That's pretty much when it was like no DPS coming out from Ember. You would need like Battle Fury plus Crit at that stage to really
OD would need a Hex, which he was nowhere near having.
They were just so underfarmed then. And we talked about it a little bit during the break here with, you know, they got objectives, but then right afterwards, or they got kills, and then they kept pressuring again. It's the same story as yesterday.
MVP did.
Yes, MVP.
Yeah, they're as bad as disappointing as the lanes were for MVP, I still feel like they could have come back in this game. Like, there was the fight mid where Batrider jumps in, goes for a lasso, instant purge from the Oracle, who had just completed an Aether Lens. And that looked like the fight that was going to start turning the game around. They got 4 kills off of that. I think they lost 1 hero in exchange. And they had time to back off, but they stuck around too long. Miracle shows up, hits a 2-hero shackle. The fight turns. No Tail comes back in. They start collecting kills. OG end up getting 4 kills right back.
Right.
MVP just got over-aggressive at that point, and I think there were quite a few points this game where it looked like they would have a game-changing fight that would turn things around, and they just stuck around. OG punished, and then MVP's left a situation where they didn't have any CS to fall back on. And
yeah,
OG,
it's
they
like
just did a great job of punishing mistakes.
This will be the first fight where we see, it's going to look amazing for, you know, or looking good for OG. They're initiating, but then MVP turn it around once the Ember Spirit's going to come back in here, as well as the ES. And we saw the OD ulti. I think it's going to whiff completely right now, and that's it's on. Yeah, it's just on.
QO had a lot of whiffed ultis this game. This was not what we expect out of an OD pick. First 2 overall. Heroes had huge success, but even here they get 1 kill, they get 2 kills. And then MVP just continue diving.
Killed the tower.
Again, Crit. This guy played amazing, not only saving heroes with the relocate, juking MP, not able to find the chains there on Crit, and MP ends up going down. Shackle Shot comes through. And to me, this was really the story of the game where the way MVP needed to come back after the laning stage caught them off guard was getting the clean kills, like the 2 they had, and then not overextending. Right. But they did overextend, and it was kind of reminiscent of the Slark game from QO yesterday where they just were forcing the issue a bit too much. So, I mean, part of it is the nature of the OG draft, very good at punishing mispositioning and mistakes. But yeah, this was the fight I was talking about where they get the Purge, great Earth Spirit combo with the Vacuum, clear victory for them. They just clean up, but they stick around for a long time, and they end up giving up a bunch of kills later.
I tell you what, though, the one person that you haven't mentioned that I'm a little surprised, you mentioned before that first game that Moon hasn't made his presence felt recently. This was an 8K net worth Batrider at 16 minutes. He had an ultra kill, only the 5th on record for the hero in Pro Dota 2 and the earliest.
Against an Oracle who had a very fast Aether Lens as well.
Yes.
It was impressive for sure.
Yeah, they have a lot of heroes to really disengage. You also have the OD with his save too, with the Astral. I mean, they have a lot of things. But yeah, you're seeing how long this team fight lasts, and they're getting so aggressive. You have all these. Look at the timers. They're just 1 second.
Everyone's respawning.
Yeah,
MVP are sticking around.
You don't have your ultis. This is when
Part
the
of
game,
it's the nature of the draft. They're not that good at taking objectives clearly, and they stick around too long. OG come back in. Nobody bought back. It's not like anyone caught them by surprise, and then they just start cleaning up at this point. So
yeah. Dubu tried to put the team
great
on their
power
back.
shot by Miracle there. By
Yeah.
like
I mean,
the
we
Robin
saw
Hood
the power
reference in the
shot
cast.
earlier. I think LD marked down at like 4 minutes 44 or something. Solo kill onto
QO.
OD.
Yeah,
Oh
it was
boy,
like
that was
QO sad right
shot
now.
from
but
downtown. That was something else.
I mean, Miracle's going to do those things, right? So you really
He
have
does.
to minimize the avoidable mistakes. But again, it was 3 free kills for them into tower pressure, back off, but they stick around. They give up 4 counter kills. So yeah, this bottom lane, things starting to look better. OG at this point have the double BKB
Yes.
and another OD ult that gets nothing done. It's not, at this point in the game, you can't really even fault QO because the cores of BKBs, and there's the IO relocate. You're just not going to kill a core at this stage. They had no counter for BKBs, but to me, it never should have gotten to this point where they had to deal with the double BKB.
Yeah, and it was a little bit unfortunate in the timing for MVP because of that poor laning phase. The Ember Spirit's farm was a bit delayed, and so OG reveal their 2 BKBs, getting an ultra kill on Miracle here right before the Ember Spirit was about to finish his Battle Fury. He just never really had that. He never really came online in this game like you want to see from an Ember Spirit.
They still did go around the map, MVP. Like, they get these pickoffs here and there, and it looks like really good for them when they're able to set up like this. And you can see how they're able to disengage, but I think there was a buyback, coming in from both supports now from OG. And
Disengage is not in the MVP vocabulary of this game. Like, they just keep on running in, and at times it works out okay, but
if you didn't have an Aegis here, though, maybe they could take this team fight. But the 2 supports buyback, CK comes back. They essentially went through 8 lives right there or something. And, I mean, that was a really good team fight from MVP. It's just unfortunate. They were just so far down.
And look at the net worths in these replays too. It struck me so many times in this game how many of the problems that we talked about that MVP had been having before the draft that they really addressed so effectively in this game. Miracle, of course, has the net worth lead, but there are 2 other cores right up there with him. Miracle does 20k hero damage in this match, over twice what anybody on MVP does, but there are 3 other OG players over 10k. So his team really, as well as Miracle played, the casters said, hey, vintage Miracle, his team really played behind him that much better as well.
I mean, Miracle to me has very few off games. Like, there was the 1 puck game yesterday, but they put a lot of emphasis on shutting him down. So it's not even like, oh, Miracle played bad. They committed a lot to slowing Miracle down and then converted it into a win. But to me, I think you mentioned Moon had a really great performance. No Tail as well, not just his individual play, but the way they set him up in the lanes. They put him in aggressive position. He's ganking and fighting a lot. He didn't go for like a greedy Midas build, which we see Loda has done occasionally on the CK. He went for the more standard drums into armlet, fight a lot, gank a lot,
and
pressure,
he didn't get
and
caught.
create space.
He didn't get caught either. Like, it was more so Miracle one playing very aggressive, trying to take these objectives, and then Crit bailing him out. So I do like it when they have this bailout from Crit. It just seems to OG, they want to play really aggressive with their cores, and that just allows it. That's why we saw so many times them picking up Dazzle.
I mean, I think anyone who's watched Dota for a while now has to remember that moment where they were, I think it was on EMS where No Tail was, they were recording his audio and they played back, fuck him up. Like, it gives you and I've seen him, I've admin for their team a couple times at the summit. So like, he's often like that. Not always. He has gotten a little bit calmer now, but I mean, we heard it yesterday where the crowd got silenced, but you could hear No Tail yelling in the game where they beat Na'Vi. And it's nice to have that plan B because he is a very aggressive player, very emotional player. And Crit gives him that stable backup plan, the IO in particular, probably the best hero to get that done. We've seen it in the past with Fly on the Dazzle. Having that insurance policy for a player like No Tail, I think just lets him shine.
Yeah, I think they went so much back to the same play style that they showed at Frankfurt with so many of their drafts at the Frankfurt Major. You saw that 3 and 4 position combo work so well, where one of Moon Meander or Crit was on their initiator, and the other was on a hero that could sort of control their team's positioning, like an Earth Spirit. You saw that with the Wisp and the Bat Rider in this game.
Yep. It's pretty much the Moon and Crit show for me. Moon early on, as well as Crit, early and later game.
And to me, just the overall strategy, which I guess is primarily credit to Fly. It just, to me, the CK for No Tail this game was like the Gyro or the Bat Rider that they've run for him in the past, where it comes online early, it can fight well, it scales decently, but it doesn't take too much space.
Yeah, they were thinking more along the lines of the early game situation where you have this Ember Spirit. We know we can take it to him early on if we have that Wisp backup coming in, and then also later in the game when we saw them have the BKBs, there was just no physical damage coming out from MVP. So they had at least, an idea for the or the early game, mid game, and even going into the late game.
Yeah. Great shot calling from OG. I think for MVP, not so much. I still like the MVP draft. I didn't see any issues there. We were like, is Oracle the hero? But the Oracle actually won them some of those early fights. It was just they stuck around, so it didn't end up resulting in a long-term
Dubu
win.
carried them as best he could on his Earth Spirit. I mean, everything was perfect from him, and even more from
they're out of that game completely.
That one fight mid,
kicks.
Especially, like the Earth Spirit, just 3-hero magnetize after a vacuum, kick stuns them all, rolls in. Like that was the dream Earth Spirit setup.
Right. Let me be clear. I mean, I don't know that I would have picked any other team with that draft, but OG is just so good with those particular heroes. So we're going to get into our game 2 here. MVP.Phoenix need a win. This is the top 4 team at Shanghai. Number 1 team, the winners of your Dota Pit LAN event. They need a win here to avoid being eliminated on day 2.
Ooh, look at that. They say enough of the IO. OG first overall picked it last game. They gave away OD Earth Spirit, and a lot of teams would not make that trade. And MVP was like, "Great, you can have the IO. We're getting the better end of the bargain." But turned out not to be the case. So big respect, Ben, but certainly not the first time we've seen it here against OG.
So Invokers for both of these teams now heavily prioritized.
There's also the Moon Beastmasters, another big hero that last game was banned.
See, I thought they would do this OD ban last game and not pick it up themselves. That's why. But they had a kind of a strategy to go around it. And so they want to either ban the Invoker now, make OG ban it, and then get maybe Enchantress for themselves.
No, I think as OG, you leave both the Invoker and the Earth Spirit on the table. MVP are going to pick one. Nope. Okay, they ban the Invoker themselves.
You're wrong. Give me your trophy.
Miracles,
give me your trophy.
No, that's
Miracles,
my trophy, baby.
Miracles telling Fly, no, if I can't have Invoker, they're not having it either. Ban that. It's funny watching when they're talking about the drafts because he's just like, give me Invoker, give me Invoker. Like, he always wants the Invoker no matter what, but not this game. So MVP, what is it going to be first overall here, guys?
I think Enchantress.
It's got to be the Earth Spirit after the impact that the impact that Dubu had.
I guess OG
game.
doesn't play Enchantress.
OG
as much.
The Bat Rider's been really impactful for them. Moon can play it, No Tail can play it. We didn't see the No Tail Bat Rider, but that is an option for them.
Now, they have run that in the mid, specifically against OD, so I think that's definitely a viable option. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Beastmaster at all.
Yeah, I think at least one of the Bat and the Beastmaster.
Do we see potential Dooms or Beastmasters here from OG?
Do they run Doom?
I know they run Beastmaster, but
it's definitely not one of their bigger heroes.
Yeah, there you go.
They have, oh no, that's, oops, wrong team. Okay.
It's just one of those heroes that I think he can do really well as a 4 position if you're not getting. I've seen it.
And he's flexible because he can go off lane with a little bit of help potentially.
Right, and
so that's what I wanted to ask you about. Is specifically, like this hero, Doom has gained a lot in the meta recently, but now apparently he's moving up to where teams are valuing him first phase. Why do you think that is?
It's just like LD said, you can run him in the offlane, you can run him as support, and then all you just need is one extra helping hero, and then all of a sudden you get free pickoffs in the lane, and then he's going to be the hero known for as we just delete one of the other heroes. I mean, delete 20K net worth, 30K, all you need to do is just get that Doom off. But I do love his early game aggression that he can apply, and that's what this meta is about. You saw the Earth, you see the Earth Spirit here, now you see the Doom, and yeah, there you go.
Oh, there's the Ench.
So, man, is there going to be a safe spot on the map in the first 15 minutes of the game?
Yeah, these are 2 big pressure heroes. Doom likes to move, not so much like the first couple levels if he's a laner, but certainly once you get to the 5 to 10 minute mark, and Ench from minute 0 on the prowl.
And it's important. You're talking about an MVP.Phoenix team that is used to playing on the front foot. They're used to being the ones rotating on you.
Yeah, rotating into OG is very risky with these heroes. I mean, they're going to grab that.
Wow.
Interesting. Well, they know at least one of these is a support, and neither particularly good against Bat. So it looks to be a pretty good back game on paper here.
Yeah, I like back here. It does counter the Doom, where you can blink away before he casts the Doom. You can initiate, find better vision than him. Obviously, you need some magical damage to deal with the Enchantress eventually, but
they have no real counter for Lasso right now either, aside from blowing your Doom on a Bat Rider, which is normally not ideal. Man, that stat line from last game. It was not
That's
a one-man
just
show,
crazy.
but you look at the 17-1 and 13, and it certainly feels that way.
No, I mean, when you deal twice as much hero damage as anybody else in the game, that's just insane.
So they did ban the Venge here for MVP.
Might ban Oracle.
Yeah, if they ban Venge Oracle, I mean, that's pretty much the dream Batrider game at that point.
Now, the question is,
Unless
who are you
you're
looking
FY
at as
and
cores?
Rubik.
Who do you like here, guys, as cores for OG coming up? That all-important, I mean, we talked about, in many ways, the G hero defining VP's draft. In many ways, the Miracle hero is going to define OG's draft here, I feel.
Well, so they've taken out like all the IO partners effectively by just removing the IO itself, the Sven for Miracle that we've talked about. I don't think we're particularly likely to see a CK either. I'm trying to think.
Anti-Mage is pretty far out
I
of
mean,
favor.
they're on Dire side. They might pick up an Ursa or a Lycan.
Ursa would be good. I like Ursa, maybe Juggernaut, Gyrocopter, heroes that are fairly self-sufficient.
It
come
depends
online
on
pretty
their
early.
extra support, too,
Yeah.
because you can't play too greedy against the Batrider, else you can't get punished, because they're going to be running dual lanes for OG now with the Enchantress Doom off lane, potentially. And
Now, that's a very, very important fact about Enchantress here.
Remember,
in this
they are
patch.
dire, so you definitely want at least one core who can help you take Roche. Enchantress will be able to tank it, but they still need damage.
People talk about whether she's an offlaner or jungle. She's actually over 60% win rate as a dual offlaner, only about 40% win rate as a solo offlaner or as a dedicated jungler. So she's very reliant on having a little bit of help, but also being able to move around.
Yeah, and MVP already have pretty good magic damage, so solo offlane Ench could easily get punished there, but doesn't look like it will be.
Orca ban,
Yeah.
called that. What could really OG ban here that they don't want to get themselves? It's just,
So I'm wondering whether they
Maybe another carry.
yeah.
go back
just
to
another
the
standard carry.
OG could go back to that PL or Gyro that they had so much success with.
I mean, it's a pretty good PL game right now.
Yep.
The Ember a bit less so versus Doom, but still if you're quick on the Remnant, you should be able to get out pretty much every time with the cast animation that Doom has. But we have seen players slip up if their cameras elsewhere are just not quite paying attention.
Yep. PL's pretty good early on, too, for dodging the Enchantress ganks. But Doom is still going to be very tanky. It's going to be hard to bring him down if you do go for that. I just feel like Ursa is going to be a highly contested hero for maybe both teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, later on you get the Ags on Ursa, pretty good against Batrider as well. Just
Yeah.
annoying hero for him to deal with in general. And it helps them with Roche. It is also an Enchantress
SPL ban.
pseudo
SPL ban.
counter. So, yeah, I think out of the MVP carries, like the Ember, the PL, even occasionally Juggernaut, PL, the hero they were worst at dealing with. So I
I
do
think OG go Lion now, just so they don't go for that Ember or something? Or do you think maybe a Rasta again?
It really depends on what they're picking, because, I mean, with Doom already, if you have one
Pick up
other
in
hero to
5,
initiate, they have answers for Ember. But it is the MVP comfort pick.
So what are you looking at for QO here? We need a hero that he can snowball on, and in addition to some of the ones you've mentioned, he's also known for his PA, known for his Templar
I
Assassin
think
as
they're
well.
going to save that for 4th and 5th pick. They don't want to unveil their cards just yet, so it's hard to say what they really want to run. I mean, yeah, we have the Puck, Queen of Pain still left. Maybe DP is good for OG right now.
They need something to take Roche.
Yeah,
And
DP
Yeah.
does.
DP, Ursa, maybe
Let's just
Jug.
start naming all the heroes in Dota
And then
now.
you have-
They take it forever.
You have the Enchantress
Okay.
and Doom to
Yeah,
discourage
this is what we
the
saw
Spirit
from,
mid.
was it Navi yesterday, where they just kept on going back to the Shadow Shaman for the wards.
I can't remember.
Really good at taking objectives.
It worked out perfectly last game.
And it gives them the Hex. So you mentioned the Lion. This is kind of in the same vein. If there is an Ember pick being
Does
considered
give
for
you
MVP,
the Roche too. Like
Yeah.
the 2 solo supports now can, yeah, they can
their
solo
supports can basically just solo Roche and,
That's crazy.
and Shadow Shaman. Like, we're going to smoke and go Roche. You guys just farm.
That's crazy to think about.
And that's where MVP being Radiant, the nice thing about their draft is they already have very good control around the pit, and they've got a great vision hero on the Batrider. So
It was Alliance that ran
Oh, it was
Rasta in
Alliance,
both of
that's
their
right.
games yesterday. EGM had that crazy early Blink Dagger.
Navi, Alliance, having TI3 flashbacks here.
Both the same team.
You can tell MVP is unsure of themselves. I remember at Shanghai when they really started to get rolling, they were insta-snap picking their heroes. Like, and it almost felt like it was a bit of psychological warfare on their part, where they're just like, we're so confident in our picks, we're not even going to hesitate. But they do go for the Witch Doctor. Good support against the Enchantress roaming.
It has been their most picked hero here in the last 30 days. Dubu is 8-4 on that particular hero. I think that's always a solid choice for them, and of course it counters the Enchantress.
Yeah.
Always nice to have. We saw the Death Ball earlier with the Witch Doctor plus so many other heals. Even just having one on your team is enough for the sustained pushes. It also can change the team fights early on, especially against this Enchantress Doom.
Well, guys, this to me is where the draft turns for OG, because you've got to give away something now.
Yeah. I would give away your mid now. So either DP or Puck. I think Puck is a really good hero here. You can just
probably one of the best mids to deal with the Earth Spirit roaming.
Yeah.
Good initiator. And they are still lacking that initiator, especially for a team fight.
Oh, wow,
well,
there it is. I really like this.
In the vein of a Puck, but a different,
I really like
different
this.
type of mid.
And the difference is that this is going to be No Tail's hero, not Miracle. So No Tail's going to play the Brewmaster. He can play it mid or safe lane, and you free up. So No Tail is going to be on a farm-dependent but a more control-oriented hero. You free up Miracle to play that DPSer because you know you have plenty of damage to back you up coming
and
from
then that
the
would
Enchantress.
mean quite likely the Moon offlane Doom. And, well, there's the Juggernaut I mentioned
I really
for
like
MVP.
that too.
Yep.
Not as appealing of an Ember game.
Nope.
In general at this point.
They have
like,
so much control from OG right now.
Yeah.
I'm so worried, but
and even if he doesn't die in the fights, he's not going to really be able to engage into a Brewmaster. Like maybe he runs away, but that's about it. Juggernaut, a little more sustained, a little more potential to actually get in the thick of things.
Now this MVP lineup does have quite a bit of push potential here early on.
Yeah, they could double down on it, and OG were worried about it. They actually just banned the Death Prophet, so I think a good point there. But MVP definitely need another core, someone who scales. You don't want to run
Ursa is like 100% go right now. I mean, it counters Juggernaut so much right now. But it could be a little bit greedy with the Bat Rider, potentially Earth Spirit roaming around. And then if your Ursa and Shadow Shaman lane do very bad, could be problematic. But other than that, I think it's still
Being
the
a
best.
shameless fanboy, I'm going to root for the Miracle Animage.
Nah, that's never gonna happen.
It's not a good pick here. Okay.
Oh, okay. You get the.
This is a bit of a death ball draft. We
Miracle
actually saw this
Wound.
we saw this from VP earlier, where they started picking a bit differently in terms of like the overall game plan. The Broodmother pick, heavy push strat in game number 2 as well. OG. I mean, this is an objective-based lineup.
They even
it
coulda-
is, but it's one that takes time to come online.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, Fnatic Dota is here
Absolutely.
in spirit at Starladder. This is something we've seen a lot out of them, and it has been very effective against MVP.
Yeah, we are going to see a vintage SEA lineup here. They're going to be aggressive early on. Guys, who do you like in this matchup quickly?
OG, they're going to win. They're going to get all the Roches, and MVP aren't going to contest them.
I like OG's draft better, and yeah, I got to go with OG.
I think it's going to be a clean sweep. I'm going to go with OG to take the series 2-0, and with that, we're going to send it out to our casters, KotLGuy and Fogged.
Thanks, Nahaz. We're here at the Cyber Sport Arena. Myself and Fogged here. Fogged, everyone's unanimous for OG on this one, even after that very scary Medusa pickup at the end there for MVP.
Yeah.
Do you agree with him?
Yeah, I agree with what Ryu said as well. Like, they have a very good Roche lineup, a very good objective-based lineup, and I think that if they play the strengths of their lineup, as long as they don't try to like take unnecessary fights over and over and over for no reason, I think it's going to end up being in OG's favor.
All right, we'll see if that's going to be the case or not as we get hopped in and ready. It's game number 2 of MVP versus OG. Let's go to town here. OG. They certainly look like the OG we remembered there for game number 1 and an all-star performance by Miracle on that Wind Ranger. This time we're going to be seeing him taking rain on the Lone Druid. Don't get to see it very often, but time and time again, it has popped up here. And, well, based on his build-up, is he taking this to the mid lane? One Fairy Fire,
Yeah.
double share tangos?
Yeah.
So mid lane matchup.
They've done that a few times. Got the bear, getting it blocked up.
Oh, early
Oh,
roll through. A
rolls
lot
through
of
for the
hate.
slow.
They want that 300 gold.
Bat
They're just
Rider
gonna keep-
doesn't want to show. I feel like if he wanted to, they could have for sure killed the bear there if he went for sticky and chased it out, but they don't want to show the Bat Rider.
Trying to keep things kind of in the dark as far as maybe the lane setup they're going to be going for here. And QO even with a couple of shared tangos. So are they trying to match this up as a... Oh, they're still
still
pursuing
going
for
for the
this
bear.
this big old raccoon of a bear right now.
200. MP's
MP
got it.
steps in. He's like, yes, free 300 gold for me. Look at that. 1 CS ahead of everyone else.
Level 2.
Net worth 925, level 2. How much of a misstep can that be, though? You're getting a big bounty. Look at it. Still action. Bottom lane. Early Shackle. A lot of hate for this bat, but he's going to be able to go into a Fireflight and escape out to the south. But you're handing over Jug an early level 2 now.
And they're going for this aggro, which I really like because now they have the Bat Rider in a 1v1 versus the Doom. But Fly is definitely going to make the rotation down there right away. But since they saw the Bat Rider going for that bottom rune, they know that's going to be the approach. Looks like Dubu wants to mess with Crit's jungle. But yeah, losing the bear right away is very costly. I mean, you never, of course, want to lose it. But now he's going to have to resummon it now. And if he dies within the next 2 minutes, he's going to have no bear for a while.
That would be just so crippling at this point. I'm sure he's going to be play it.
Hard for him to die, though.
A bit safe here. I tried to catch the back end of it there, but bottom. They made their pursuit for the Bat Rider, and they are going to get the kill. I guess someone had to miss first blood eventually, Fog.
Yeah, I honestly wasn't even... I was looking up toward the top lane because they were like running in toward the Panda, but he goes for the Infernal Blade level 1 with the boots, and I don't think Forev expected that.
Must not play a lot of Chinese pubs.
Yeah, great rotation there from Fly.
And as we see here, QO eating a lot of nerf damage, and even No Tail going to be going down here as I check action in the mid lane. Pretty hot start, but MVP are going to be able to square even things up. And Dubu Earth Spirit, who's going to be able to get an early kill for him, is a very happy Earth Spirit at that.
I was moving up toward the last second of that one. I was like, oh, about to tell you, but
we'll just see how much we miss here back to back.
Yeah. Who's this observer?
They got their early Satyr, though, it looks like here for OG, so a continued barrage of Hadouken's going to be flying out here from the Mighty Satyr.
Yeah.
Can prove to be a bit frustrating.
Bottom lane, Forev getting gone on again.
And after the Shackle does fly, he's going to be forced to fly up and above and down to the river, but not going to be able to make it away. Moon will get the last right-click connection.
Skills the Scorched Earth instead of going for the Devour as well.
Very proactive Doom build-up here.
Yep.
And Crit
taking
his
down
business
there as well.
all the way down for a more offensive jungling approach here. Going to get the early Alpha Wolf at this point. And it looks like there might be a change up here. Forev is now going to be beelining it probably for the jungle as a backup. Probably something OG are going to be keeping in touch, but with Crit being down here now, he's not even going to allow the Bat Rider to kind of fall back on that.
So really interesting approach by OG, though. They just want to make sure that Moon has a great game, and they're just top lane getting gone on. Yep. No Tail.
No Tail in trouble. Blade Fury's going to be out, and they're going to be taking him down.
Nice roll by Dubu.
Back and forth we go, man. Both these teams just swinging.
Yeah, but I do like what OG's doing. You know, they know that the only way that they can get aggressive in this game is if they go to Moon's lane, and if it's not versus like a tri-lane or something. So they have this set up for this, I guess, the 1v1. Gets phase boost already at 2 minutes on Doom. And yeah, they're going to be pressuring this tower already.
Serious objective gaming already coming out here from OG, and with the help of the Harpy, he's just going to chain lightning down these creeps as fast as possible. Really getting no safe place for this bat to kind of find his own recovery. But, you know, to the benefit of MVP, this top lane is also going very nicely for them.
Pushing it in again. They're ready. They're getting ready for the dive.
Say the same thing here, bottom lane. It's almost a bit of a carbon copy, but Febby looks to make his move. No Tail hustles up to the north. There's going to be the
Moon
coconut.
has a TP. They're setting
Double
up for
TPs are coming in, and MVP are trying to turn and run. Dubu, though, is going to be the man left behind, and with such a long cooldown on the early rolling boulder, he's not going to be able to make a safe escape. So OG...
And they got the bot tower.
Yeah, they're not going to allow another opportunity like that, and as you said, they will be able to at least secure that tier 1, but look at this, Forev has been able to go into a 1v1 here for Crit. Will not pursue, as Crit will be able to heal up. Both these lanes top to bottom here. And with OG getting that early tower.
Again, though, these movements, it's just constant. Like both of these teams are just on top of moving around the map, trying to find opportunities anywhere they can.
Making my
Moon
job
having
hard.
a TP, like Moon having that TP at 2 minutes in with his phase boots.
Not expected.
Yeah, definitely unexpected there.
And now he has an Invis rune as if things are going even better. As he looks to creep behind here, Febby and MP going for the pull here. Moon will spot it out, and we'll see if they're going to do something about it.
Oh, it catches a glimpse of him.
Yes, it does.
And the range. Oh, the creeps are messing it up.
They were going to try to maybe coax him into something, but now they make their move. It's a boulder smasher roll in, and Moon could be in trouble. A shackle
out of
does come in
range.
from Fly, and Moon's going to make it away in the back of his Scorched Earth, and now they're looking for the turnaround from No Tail here. He steps in and gets a nice clap. Febby
Dubu as
is
well.
going to be going down. They get the grab for Dubu, and they'll be able to follow up with a second takedown here. OG, another hot start. They will end up losing No Tail
Now
as the
Forev,
exchange.
these rotations.
Yeah, they just want to be all over the place, and part of the action here, Forev now stepping in, helps secure the 1 kill, and they could end up making this an even trade, but the net's going to be there from Moon, but it doesn't matter. MP is able to make chase with the help of those phase boots, and will be able to slice down the Shaman.
Would you expect a team with
No.
Doom and Lone Druid to be going for all these rotations and kills this early? It's pretty ridiculous. Wow, Miracle almost just died to that Mystic Snake. He actually had to pop his Fairy Fire to survive.
And he will now have to do the long walk already to the back, and that is a Mystic Snake that has been leveled up 3 points already.
Yeah, now Crit's just like, yep, bottom lane. There's nobody here.
I'll take it.
This is mine. Thank you.
And with that tier 1 taken down, nowhere really feels very safe. And
Fly's living the dream, though. He gets a double kill top and gets his Arcane Boots, so that was just, it's perfect for a Rasta.
perfect for any support,
Yep.
really. And with that, he'll be able to continue to dish out this nuke damage and farm up for himself when necessary, as you see there. Now, Miracle will be able to make his return to this mid lane, and we'll have to see if MVP will begin a shift here. They've added a lot of pressure towards this top lane. They might continue so until they're able to kind of breach this tier 1, but eventually you might need to step back and kind of see if you can get Miracle in check here on this Lone Druid. And how do you think Miracle would approach this kind of a game? It's obviously a different approach than how you would do so when you have a Wind Ranger here, but for the Lone Druid, I assume you play things a bit more patiently and just kind of play the farm game.
Definitely. MVP still has a walking courier. It's going all the way top. All right, there we go. MVP, not OG.
I thought I clicked on him. Whatever.
Oh, you're fine. Don't worry about it. It's not that
It's
big a
still
deal.
walking.
Yeah, it's still walking 6 minutes. You really don't see that happen.
Going for
often.
the record here. Little ugly frickin' Rhino Couriers.
Still nobody in the bottom lane. And now Forev's on his way. Triple range creep.
Really awkward game here. As after Crit pushed the lane in, he's just been kind of taking residence here in the MVP jungle. Forev, as you mentioned, will make the rotation towards the bottom as he tries to approach his level 6. He also went right for those Arcane Boots, looking to probably shift him into an Ether Lens in the future here. But now potentially caught between two. Fly's going to spot him out, leads him with the Hex. Then we'll follow it up with the Shackle Shot. And guess what? Crit, he has a net waiting as well. The lockdown just doesn't stop here. And Forev will be dropped.
Such an interesting game, though. Like, I mean, both teams just adapting to the way that each other play, and just the moving around, like the aggressive tri lanes, and now mid lane
Is in trouble.
ganking Doom.
Here he comes.
Another root.
Hi, how you doing? Boom, pops in, Infernal Blade, and Medusa just gets deuced on at that moment. And they will turn this into a push onto the tier 1 in the mid lane. While this does happen, as you can see, MVP at the top will look to go for their own trade. Finally being able to take down that pesky tier 1 tower. Opens up the jungle for themselves if they want to kind of invade a bit and plant down some offensive wards. But hey, a potential response comes in from MVP after the tower drops. A roll forward here from Dubu. Will be able to get a connection. Fly commits the wards, and Dubu goes down just as fast as he rolls in. But MP now
He's got no
committing the
mana.
Omni Slash. And man, they just hit him up with a Doom right after it concludes. This looks to be OG's fight. The Courier finally going to take flight here and make it away from the trouble, but it's OG who take the tower and take 2 names shortly after.
Yeah, I guess they didn't realize how many levels the supports and everybody has already on the side of OG. Doom did just hit 6 after that, but at the same time, Enchantress and Rasta both hit 6 at the same time. Which isn't something you really see too often, right? Like this Doom was level, at 2 minutes he had phase boots, and now he hit 6 at the same time as his Rasta and his Enchantress. And Fly's gonna get a Blink Dagger really early in this game. I mean, he's already at 1,000 gold with
That
those
is
Arcanes.
crazy. I mean,
Just with the rotations. it's
8
just
minutes in, 3K XP advantage, 3K net worth advantage.
He goes for the Urn instead. Okay.
I mean, I guess there's really no one else on the team that might pick up an Urn, and maybe they anticipate they are going to be going into more of a 5-man kind of a push here soon, and
Yeah, just
favor
pushing
having
and
the sustain.
going for the Roche and everything like we were talking about before. Looks like they want to go for a smoke here.
And they will. Pop it, they'll go on the prowl right now. MVP are in the neighborhood here.
Level 3 Earth Spirit, level 4 Witch Doctor.
That is not going to be good enough here for any sort of fight.
They seem
Febby.
to be aware, but
oh,
no.
he's going to tank the gank, that's for sure. Caught up with the net, Dubu kicks a stone, but that stone is a tombstone here. And OG advanced their lead forward 10-4 already. They are looking to push the series into a 2-0 sweep if possible.
And they're going to have Rost Awards in 15 seconds, but they're going to start the Rosh already.
Yeah, and with an Enchantress on your team, I mean...
Ice Armor as well, Lone Druid, who's going for the Midas. And he did finish up in a Kilo, which we don't see happen too often, but I guess he needed the sustain in the lane versus the Medusa.
Yeah, especially when you got all those Mystic Snakes flying at you.
Yeah.
This will lead to an early Aegis here and a grab, and objective 1 for OG. How do MVP now need to approach this game? I mean, you look at their lineup and you feel like they have significant late game potential, but where the game is going, I don't even see a late game in their future at this point.
Taking fights is going to be hard for them. And
Yeah.
I was saying that OG wasn't going to be able to take the fights, but the fact that they have these supports so over leveled, it's just going to let them take the opportunities of those fights.
And they'll quickly
Drum.
pull off from that mild push there in the top lane, and yeah, as you mentioned here, some new pickups. Drum going to be complete there for Moon, so he is race car mode for this Doom now. Phase Drum already done, even before MP is going to be able to get one for himself on the jug, it looks like.
Do you see, if you're looking at the net worth right now, take a look where No-Tail is. He's actually at the bottom of his team. And it's not,
Wow.
I don't even think it has to do with him, like, okay, sure,
I mean,
he may have died like one too many times in the top lane, but they kind of just sacked him, and their supports are so farmed.
I want to say that's not too unfamiliar whenever Moon is playing the Brewmaster. I feel like I never typically see him on the Brewmaster at the top of the net worth here, and they just utilize him for the sake of, did I say No-Tail?
You said Moon. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. But, you know, he's more there for the utility and the fact, I mean, he's level 8 now, so.
He's almost got his Blink Dagger, too, because they've taken so many objectives already. Uh-oh, Forev.
Yeah, he is close to trouble, and I don't even think he knows it here. He thinks he's going to have some casual camp farm here, but Crit, Fly, all in the area. There's going to be a roll in from Dubu as they try to make their move for Moon. Can they get him finished off? They silence him up here. They need a little bit more. Moon looking to hustle, make it away, gets this move, phase off, tries to drum, but not going to be good enough. They will be able to finish him off. And now Crit just isolates MP and just starts sticking him with the right-click damage there, and they will be able to get their own trade. A better one there for OG. Forev also going to be going down to the hands of Fly, makes it that much better for OG at the end of the day.
He did have to commit the Rost Awards there. I'm not sure if he needed to, but at the end of the day, they're not going to need that to push the tower once they get 2 kills. And now Dubu is 6, though. He's fight ready.
Fight ready, he's got 3 stones, but his team is not really there to rally behind him, and I think they might have to just sack this tier 1 tower at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the lineup of OG, I don't even think they're going to be easily brought down in any sort of team fight, even without the Magnetize here. Yep, he gets doomed up. There's the Infernal Blade. Moon just going to look to stalk him down. He's like, oh, that haste rune's going to be mine, and I'm going to walk that much faster now. Febby awaits for him at the high ground here. Could try to hit him with the coconut, but Moon's like, actually, I'll take the Witch Doctor instead. But now Moon, got to get hog-tied up here from Forev. They surround him. Fly shows up, tries to assist. Moon in a bit of trouble here. Long kick, not going to be able to connect here from Dubu, and Moon hustles away on the back end of a haste rune and will make it out safely.
One hit from death. The cask almost gets him killed with the bounces, but
that boulder smash would have connected. Yeah, it could have been a different story as well. It's just, you know, Moon. Thankful for the haste rune to be there. Yeah. Back at top lane, MP, you know, he's got his early Blade of Alacrity, looking to go into the Yasha at this point, a more farm-intensive build for him, and it's almost kind of a flip of the script of what we saw the last game where OG had recognized they're not going to be able to take any sort of serious team fight. MVP just trying to do the same.
Yeah.
They need time.
QO hasn't really tried to make any rotations at all. He just feels like, you know what, I need to get this farm. I need to be this big presence as this Medusa. So it looks a bit weird for MVP to have that kind of be in that kind of position where they can't just rotate everybody, because usually you see those like MVP just constantly running 5 people trying to outnumber the enemy team, but at this point they can't.
I mean, based on their performances from Shanghai and then even in their Dota Pit run, MVP, if you'd shown me this as their draft, I would have said this is a very big conflict of their usual style of play.
Yeah, now QO pushed up very far. Might get caught out.
There is a movement
behind
here. Yeah, OG looking to make the move. Dubu and Fly will cross paths, and they quickly hex him up, and they eliminate the Rockman. And now they're looking for more. As they move for QO, he's going to be popping the Stone Gaze here.
He's alone,
will solidify a couple. Febby trying to make it out. Boom, going to be taken down with the help of the wards right there. And now they get the Cyclone up onto QO as he does fall. They have the Shackles to connect, trying his best to soak up all that damage with the Mana Shield, but not nearly going to be enough. Oh, and look at this. You got some stacks here. We'll try to take a bit of this as well. They pull the stacks back into the wards, too, to even help farm them up a bit, but things continue to come up roses right now for OG. And while this happens, Miracle helps demolish and do some work on this tier 2 in the top lane.
And they pick up a Midas on the Doom now, too. And looking incredibly in favor of OG.
I feel like they could definitely afford to play this greedy.
Yeah. I mean, like I was saying initially in the, like when we first came out of the draft, it was going to be hard for them to take fights, but like, just the way that this game turned out, the supports are so over-leveled, they're able to get so many kills on the board, and they're taking so many objectives that they all have a crazy amount of farm, and it's extremely difficult for MVP to fight. Witch Doctor is still level 5 at 15 minutes. That's one of their big team fight ultimates still too, with the Earth Spirit, who also got his ult.
Jump in, they get a grab here for Miracle. Dubu will roll in thereafter and be able to set up a good magnetize. They will catch him with the stun, that will get the finish. It will cost Dubu his life for the kill, but MVP certainly starved to kind of get any sort of net worth swing their way. Will be happy to take the trade.
Absolutely. Just anything to slow down that Radiance. They know he's going to be getting close to got to be getting close to that relic at this point.
And they will be able to follow this up with their movement onto this big creep stack here. Be careful there, MP.
Did you notice what Crit did as well as his Enchantress this game? He went pure stats, 0 in the Untouchable.
You don't see that very often.
Yeah,
I mean, when you had a lane by yourself and you're not really, you know, running into a lot of confrontation, and you know what? With their lineup, they have a lot of meaty frontliners.
Yeah.
I guess you just don't suspect that Enchantress is going to be taking a whole lot of harassment. This can allow her to get that bigger mana pool and that much more damage with her impetus.
Yeah, and they don't really have too many like actual right clickers. They have like all these like different spells like Mystic Snake Cask, like Earth Spirit, Firefly, Juggernaut Spin, Omni Slash. All of them kind of just go through it, and yeah, it's an interesting change.
It's a good way for Crit to kind of assess the situation and make some adjustments here. We'll see how it does pan out. He's got the staff for now. We'll have to see if it's just a staff reliable towards the Agnum Scepter, or if he decides to kind of build it into something else.
Thankfully, MVP was able to clear their Ancient stack, so
Yeah.
that's one good thing going their way, as well as getting that pick off on the Lone Druid.
I mean, MP is top of the net worth now with the help of that stack. He's got his Yasha already done and looking to finish up the rest of it here.
Yeah, and Flash still gets an early Blink Dagger after picking up the Urn. 17 minutes, Arcane Urn Blink.
That's nice.
That feels good.
That feels real good. And now he'll take that business towards his top lane here. Febi's hanging nearby. He's just like, I just wanted a little bit of me time here. Trying to quickly get up to level 7. Maybe
Mango
max up
consumed.
that cast. Boom! They jump right in and they pay a visit to their doctor. And
Oh.
Okay, Febi hides in the corner, but eventually they will be able to
they
get
get the
him
Doom on MP too.
Oh, MP shows himself, but that's right into the hands of Moon, and that will lead off into a Doom. Okay, nice stun there from Dubu, and MP should be able to make it safely away. They still stalk him out. A jump in, though, will be happening here from Forev as he gets the snag from Moon, pulls him back, and it's right into a nice Stone Gaze. Beautiful setup from MVP. Can they get the finish, though? A jump in from No Tail. He gets insta-stunned up. Now we'll commit into the primal split rather. They're able to finish off the QO, and then the follow-up will be there. MP also going to be going down. This still turns out into a huge fight for OG. As Dubu tries to roll away, they even get the Hex on that one.
That was so nice by Fly. He had the Hex cooling down, and he ran downward as the roll was going and catches him as the cooldown comes up instantly.
Wonderfully played from OG here. Their
Another Midas coming
hot
out.
streak does not stop, and with this, they can follow it up into another tower takedown. MVP already feeling like they're up against the ropes in this one. This tier 2 is going to be dropped, and what do you do now for MVP?
Radiant's going to be completed soon. I don't really know, honestly. I don't know if there's any way for them to recover with this, because they're losing the fights versus a team that has a Lone Druid before he even has the Radiance.
And this Medusa just certainly does not feel like any sort of insurance policy for MVP at the moment. Still trying to even put together her first little Yasha pickup at this point. I mean, I like the cute little setup they had in that last fight, the lasso into the Stone Gaze. But as you can see, OG, just a team that is that much more farmed and has that much more ammunition for these fights.
Yeah.
And I don't imagine they're going to be looking to let up too soon here. They might take the moment to step back and wait for the next Roche. And with that benefit of having the extra life, they could easily siege down the remaining tier 2 towers, and then it's just going down that OG checklist to get the finish.
Yeah.
It's pressure on MVP to kind of disrupt that momentum, but you know, as you already alluded to, what can they do to kind of do it here? We'll have to see. Crit decided to go with the Force Staff with that Staff of Wizardry here. So has the extra mobility and kiting potential if necessary. And they will heal up.
Yeah, they're just waiting for the objectives. Like, Roche should be spawning pretty soon. We took the timer. We know it's going to be up within the next 2 minutes or so.
It's a long timer to the benefit, I suppose, of MVP, as they'll make their own push towards this top lane here. But
Yeah.
MVP, the time is still just not on their side.
Yeah, OG very aware that they're playing in their jungle because they look at mid lane, they only see a Witch Doctor pushing out the lane. Where's everybody else? They've got to be top, and now as soon as Juggernaut shows, they know that, and they're going to force this bottom tower.
Yep, easy tier 2 going to be in order here for OG. While they keep the Hellbear Smasher kind of scouting out their pit. This is going to be no problem for them. We're going to have a trade apiece. MVP just happy to scrap together whatever they can get across the map, but pressure is going to be coming their way. And, you know,
He's got to set up a Fire Flyer. They might just go high ground. I think
Yeah.
they're going to anyway with the level 2
he
wards.
quickly tries to lay down the blaze of fire at this point, but I don't know how much it's going to be and how good could MVP's high ground defense even be at this point in the game when you're going against a sieging Bear and these wards. MP, though, will be able to kind of step in and try his best to kind of disrupt the ward momentum, but they make their move. QO going to be committing the Stone Gaze for this one after No Tail makes his jump in. The Bears are going to be frozen on up, and they look to step back. That tier 3 does go down. OG going to be taking their winnings, like in the retreat. Oh no, Dubu rolls in, but it rolls into his own death. OG will take the free money, and now they will beeline it back for this Roche.
Yeah, not the worst, though. And I like what No-Tail did there. He was like, I just want to secure this tower. I don't care if my split doesn't get net us any kills, really. Thankfully, they get Dubu because he rolls in trying to commit for the Magnetized. But, yeah, it doesn't really, they don't need to get kills with anything anymore. They've got more than enough. This is just purely objective now at this point.
I mean, Fog, we are on the verge of potentially seeing MVP get knocked out of this tournament without even getting a win. Very unexpected for a team that was probably coming in here as one of the favorites.
Yeah.
And they smoke and move, and look how fast OG just pull out from the pit. They're going to see Roche walk in, and they know something's fishy, but OG just with a good heads up.
Oh, they catch Vision of Miracle, or the Bear for a second, but not able to get anything out of it. OG very aware. Only way that they get killed is if they get caught in that Roshan, and I'm pretty sure that the ward that they placed in the base may have caught Vision of that smoke.
Yep. Just OG, like, utilizing these situations so well. And with that, MVP will lose their opportunity at any sort of skirmish. And OG will just kind of play this one a bit disciplined here. It will lead to MP being able to get the finish on his Manta now.
Yep. Another smoke up. They looked like they saw people with that ward that they have in the river, but I'm not sure if they even want to go into the Roche pit. Yeah, they just want to go pick this fight.
Lead the way, Creep. Scout it out. They'll see MP. The jump's going to come out from Forev. They get the lasso pullback for Crit. As that happens, Dubu looking to dish out the stun, but he's going to be quickly taken down if not careful. Stone Gaze will be dished out, and it is just absolute chaos here across the map. Moon going to be able to get that finish on for Dubu here. On the other side, QO looks to make a slip out, and they begin to pursue. They are just hustling, like quickly grab a TP scroll and hide and try to make it back to base.
They expended all their ultimates and killed nobody. They didn't even hurt anybody,
Ah,
really.
and they found QO. They're going to be hexing him up. This Medusa is in trouble, and they will just quickly take her apart. They will lose 2. They will lose 3.
Something weird happened with the with his Omni Slash. It was like Forev was lassoing the Enchantress, and he Omni Slashed, and as he pulled him down the cliff, the Omni just stopped instantly. So they weren't even able to get a kill when they committed 2 ultimates on the Enchantress, basically.
Yep. Even Death Ward was also committed in that mix. Magnetized everything utilized from MVP, but unfortunately to no avail. You're looking at an OG team who continues to get more and more swole. My goodness, Fog, look at the slope here. 12K plus in the net worth department, and about the same there for XP. This will easily award OG with the Aegis. And at this point, no reason to stop them from just hustling down the southern front here and finishing off the racks they'd already been poking at before.
Yeah. This looks impossible for MVP to win. The only way that, I mean, if OG
Nothing's
makes,
impossible.
If OG makes like diving fountain, like honestly, if they dive the fountain or something, that's pretty much the only way. But MVP still does have decent high ground defense with the stone gaze as well as the lasso. Like we saw that nice little combination one of the times that they did it, but I think it's just there's too much on the side of OG. They have more than enough that they need to break the high ground.
And this is where we're going to see MVP as sheep corralled inside their pen. Everywhere outside their base is just in the dark. I mean, MVP will do his damnedest here to push out this top lane a bit, but after OG are able to kind of do some work there at the bottom, it looks like they'll take their rotation and business towards this mid lane in the meantime, but you can obviously tell that they're in a very comfortable position. And
oh, crit.
okay,
Here we go.
it is a solo Enchantress here. No help nearby.
Core staff, drum.
She's still okay. She's
he's
healing
gonna make
up.
him work for it.
Yeah, he stalled it out. Not stalled it out enough where OG were even considering to converge and try to help it out. And that's a mega kill streak going the way of MP. Of all the people to give it to, it's
3 ults expended for a Enchantress as well.
we'll give him 2K gold. It's one step in a 20-step program probably for MVP at this point in the game, but they'll take what they can get.
Yeah.
Stack's going to be spotted out from a pesky little satyr, which is going to be bit right there from QO. But OG recognized this, and they begin to pressure down this mid lane, not making anything easy for MVP to be able to move out far from their base to find the farm. And QO trying his best to just try to take these ancient camps, but as he flirts around that area, they're going to be making their jump. Moon commits the Doom in for this Medusa now. Death Ward from the backside from Febby looks pretty nice, but a Savage Roar will quickly cancel it out. They even entangle him up, and that Witch Doctor is set to go down here. Dubu is going to be able to roll down and away, but Miracle now on a killing spree after getting that pick off, and this will allow them to kind of step back and get the finish on this tier 2. And here comes trouble. QO quickly hexed up. This Medusa in for a world of hurt, if not saved out. There's going to be the Magnetize committed. The Stone Gaze will be there, but it's still going to be the end of the Medusa. Out for a minute, no buyback for her, and it looks like OG are on the move, looking to take game number 2. They make their work onto this tier 3 tower with wards now committed. Can MVP have their hold here? It looks like OG will pull off.
They've got to heal the bear up.
And Moon also did eat quite a bit of damage there.
Yeah, Crit doesn't have his heal up, unfortunately. They TP'd the base back home to heal up a bit. He brought it back.
And MP decided to go for a Diffusal for his 3rd item here. It does add a lot into the damage department. What do you think about that pickup here in this situation?
He needs anything he can get, any type of small damage.
And with that, we're also going to be seeing Miracle on the way of finishing out his AC, which allows them to have their sieging potential so much easier for them.
Lincoln's coming out on the Brewmaster.
Everything is just coming together wonderfully for them. We got the Lincolns there. We already saw the Shivas there for Moon and his Doom. Crit obviously already completing out his Dragon Lance on the move for an Agnum Scepter. His bottom lane, Forev is going to be able to get the jump here for No-Tail. Nice lasso back into the silence. Will let them get the kill for the Brewmaster. Will cost them Dubu, who set the whole thing up. But again, even if it's a 1-for-1 trade at this much of a deficit fogged, that will be an 800 gold swing.
Yeah, I think Miracle's happy with that. He's
That's
just
step
like,
2.
He's like, yeah, good. He's like, you're dead. I get more money. He's gonna have his AC finished up any minute now too, and then they're ready to go. Aegis is gonna be ticking out quite soon, so he's gonna get healed up from that. Fly almost has Aghanims as well, so that's just even more luxury items just to close out the game.
Bottom bracket here.
Racks, though.
Yeah, you want to make sure you go in with few outs here for MVP. I mean, you get into that point where you rush into the base, you have wards already committed, it does force MVP to kind of, I mean, what is their best chance? Like, when you got OG approaching your front door, Bear going to work on your towers, wards being dropped, Doom's getting ready to jump onto you. Like, how do you focus properly if you're MVP?
Oh, first hit root
they might not
again.
even get that. There's going to be the root there, which forces out the Stone Gaze. Moon going to be jumping in, turns back, pops out the Shivas. The ward, though, coming out from Febby, nicely from the back lines here. Forev, as he jumps in for the lasso, going to get quickly hexed up. MP, though, eating a wealth of damage when the Doom and the wards that have been dropped here. Fly trapping himself with inside of the safety zone of those wards, and, well, MVP quickly look to disengage. Are they going to be able to make it away, though? OG look to pursue, and they quickly slash apart JQO and Febby. 3 going to be going down. MP is going to be out of the picture for 40 seconds without a buyback. OG, I imagine, will begin their hustle across the river and towards the side of MVP.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to claim 2 Rexes here. And
30-9.
yeah. Unbelievable, though. Like, the approach in this game, how they see the way the lanes are going to be committed from MVP, and they just adjust instantly.
And they drop that ward onto the high ground of the base. They try to make a jump for Dubu, which will force him to roll away to the safety near his fountain. And they begin to go to work here for the racks in the mid lane. While that happens, Miracle picks up the pieces here for the mid lane. Bit of a split push. MVP just kind of in a bit of a disarray here. MP will be back now, and this could quickly be the final hurrah for MVP and their star ladder life.
OG still not wanting to...
Man, they're disciplined.
Yeah, they're not wanting to risk anything. They got 2 Rexes.
Okay, jumping from Forev. Gonna be a lasso up Moon. The Lincolns will come in just a hair too late, but the Omni Slash will be there to follow. And they'll be able to finish off the Doom at this point. MP moves in next, tries to make a move for No Tail, but
Savage Roar
Will
pushes
double
everyone
back.
else back. Dubu gets a nice kick on crit.
yeah, crit. All right, pull back silence, roll forward. This could be a good surplus for MVP.
Yeah, they're going to get some
And
kills
they'll
here.
be able to get Fly. This will be the biggest convincing team fight that MVP will have had this game. And their biggest net worth boost from it.
Yeah. They were all quite low on OG. They just kind of
Holy
like overstayed
moly.
their bounds a bit.
It's like 5,500 gold swing just for those 3 kills.
Yeah. Still don't think it's quite enough, but like you were saying, maybe that 20-step program became a little bit more of a 30-step program, but now they've got step 2
Yes.
on their way there.
MVP, though, not deterred here at this point. They haven't taken... I mean, yeah, they lost their mid lane set of racks. The bottom racks are going to be exposed, but this isn't enough for them to kind of quickly tap out. Dubu
You are
behind enemy lines. Ah, I love it. Nicely done from No Tail. Jumps right in front of him and just blocks out the roll escape.
committed the split, though.
Yeah, the split, though, I don't know. But the bare necessities are out. And
Oh, they saw MP running. They saw him with that ward, but he is quite fast. There's no way to catch him.
Moon can be pretty fast himself here, but yeah, not Jug fast.
He's got to blink up.
But Moon's there.
Catches him. Gets
Spots
the Doom
him.
on him.
And will he have backup in time here? No Tail trying his best to help out Forev, though, with those boots of travel. Will also rotate
Got
in.
another blink up in 2 seconds, but he opts to run. Yeah, there's no
Doom down.
Doom down. Maybe that's
Step
another
3.
step. Step 3.
All right.
Small steps for mankind.
QO is also going to be able to find some time for himself, a little bit of me time here, farming up the enemy woods. Suddenly has a Manta here, complete, and, well, nearly 4K gold on this Medusa. Future Rapier would be pretty beneficial here for MVP if they're ever going to be able to make it that far. But and even an Agnum Scepter is kind of underway here for Febby on his Witch Doctor.
Yeah, they're slowly but
Okay.
surely pulling back. He's able to, he can sell his stick and pick it up.
They are scrapping together here. I mean, is this because of OG just kind of taking things a bit too slow, a bit too disciplined, or was that still the right approach for OG to make?
I still think it was the right approach, but them getting caught out in the bottom lane with a few kills, given that 5,000 gold was quite painful. But now they're going to go for the smoke. Roche should be spawning soon, but it looks like they're just going to go for a pick off into that Rax. If they get a second set of Rax, then it's going to be even harder for MVP to even try to put up that fight.
Here they come. Dubu will be able to get the roll off and away towards the low ground here. MP,
Nice spin.
nice quick spin, will avoid the clap there. And Fly tries to follow it up, not going to be able to get close enough to get a snag with the...
They cannot let this roster drop the wards. They have to try to go on them right away before that happens.
And is that on Forev, though, to do something about it? Get a quick lasso pullback here?
I don't know, but OG does not have creeps on the bottom lane, but they do have creeps coming in through the mid lane.
And
See?
once they
yep.
breach in, they
Brings in.
begin to make the move. The wards are going to be dropped here. QO moves in, but he is caught up in the midst of all these bears from No Tail.
Oh, Dubu gets thrown in the air as well, so it looks like a Rax is going to drop for
Yep.
nothing here.
Dubu moves in, not even going to be committing the Magnetize. It looks like MVP are just going to have to sack this bottom set of racks. That's 2 racks already down. There are very few outs at this point.
it's
for
just,
MVP.
It's so hard for them to really do anything because as soon as the wards are down, No-Tail just jumps in and splits.
Yeah, I mean,
And him putting the Lincolns on Rasta makes it so there's no way that they can go on top of the Rasta right away before he drops the ward. So Aghanim's wards takes out the racks with a couple hits of Miracle's Bear, and yeah, No-Tail just throws Dubu in the air, and MVP's not able to do anything. They just watch their racks die.
there's no reason why they just can't simply do that again in the top lane, and with the benefit of something like an Aegis, because this Roche is up in just a few seconds here. OG should be able to move in and easily take it. MVP know that the Roche has got to be up soon. They actually already take their smoke, and they begin their hustle here. This time they did have a sentry in their base, so there was no ward to spot out the smoke movement.
And OG knows the only way to lose this at all is if something horrible happens and we all die or something. So they're playing extremely safe. Sit at the tier 4s. Another smoke comes out. I think it may have just came. Yeah. Okay, they were just, I guess, waiting on the smoke. It came up a couple seconds ago. So pick up the smoke and they're going to just smoke out. And Medusa Rapier, like you said.
There it is. This is it. The all-in card now for MVP to stay alive in this tournament. They make their move for the Roche. They can get this lady and Aegis and make it all things easier, but OG make their move. As it happens forever, gonna get the last opponent. The high ground is gonna be the fly. Moon also jumps in though. Febby gets his own death ward. We're getting quickly hexed up and canceled out. Magnetize gonna be going out here. Can MVP hold? It doesn't look like it. The Medusa goes down, which means the Rapier also hits the deck. And
Miracle's got it.
Miracle. Of all the people to pick it up, the Bear has it now. And quickly, OG are going to get the better end of this fight. They move into the pit, and they will get the finish here for the Roche. A valiant effort for MVP, going all in for that Rapier, but they lose it almost just as fast as they pick it up.
They did a lot of damage in the fight, but OG's just too far ahead at this point.
They really are. I mean, you're looking at a 35K or so net worth advantage, probably the most dramatic we've seen in the tournament. Abyssal Blade as well being complete here. My God. The Bear
His hero has the Rapier,
and the hero, they both hit so freaking hard. All right, MVP. Maybe you could convince OG to start playing with their feet or something. There's really no, I mean, OG just said, we're not even going to bother. We're going right for the freaking jugular on this one.
Yeah, there's no point in not doing it. Like,
MVP not looking to go out without a fight, though. Lady Medusa going to be back in 1 second. Same with MP. This is the final hurrah for MVP. But it does look like they will be making their exit here from the Star Ladder event without even being able to take a win. OG will be able to 2-0 sweep here. And this will be the final hurrah. QO just easily going to get shot down, all by Crit there on the back lines. Magnetize, they jump in, they commit for it, but it is over. OG, after a shaky day number 1, getting knocked down into the lower bracket by Na'Vi, they will bounce back.
Coming out very strong, having a pretty interesting draft. We see some new changes. We see this guitar coming out in the background.
The Rock, they're feeling it right now. OG.
Yeah, I mean, just picking up different heroes. They picked up the Brewmaster, which is a big change, and then instead of not going for fights or anything, they just go for this extreme aggression, rotating the Enchantress and the Rasta to just punish the Batrider with the Doom, and pays off.
Well, with that, MVP, your Dota Pit champions, exiting here without a win. OG will live on to fight into the next round.
And it looks like we're going to have an interview with Fly pretty soon, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. We'll wait things out. Of course, once that interview is ready, we're going to get cut off. Promptly so. But what do you think,
everybody
man?
was right. Everybody said OG across the board for this one, though.
Yeah, we're all right. We're all winners here. It's going to be sad to see MVP go, though, but, you know, do you think this is the beginning here for OG? I imagine at this point they got to feel very confident. They're back. Do you think they can make that run all the way back into the grand final?
Yeah, that's definitely a good confidence booster, and they looked very strong. Like we were saying, you could see the cohesion between their team, their movements, everything. They played to their strengths.
Fair enough. Now, what about for MVP? I mean, everybody still feels like that they still could deserve that Manila invite. Well, I mean, what is your opinion on the matter? I mean, when you go out of a tournament like this without getting a win, some of the recent online performances felt a bit shaky, you know, continuously losing to teams like Fnatic here. I mean, maybe just not their tournament.
Maybe maybe they might have lost it.
That is not our choice, but hey, we got an interview with Fly.
So, your next opponent is Virtus.pro. What do you think about them? Have you seen their game today?
Yeah, I saw their game. I think they're definitely coming into their own. Like, the more they play, they get more comfortable with each other. And playing any Russian team here is harder. You know, the crowd loves them.
Crowd loves you too, right? So, what are you gonna do tomorrow night or today's night? Are you gonna prepare, or are you just gonna have some rest?
We're going to go have some food, and then we're probably going to rest a bit, and then probably prepare a little bit.
Okay, thank you very much, and good luck tomorrow. Yeah, we go back to analysis desk.
E-gaming bets. We accept bets